Tonight on That's Dark.
Imagine a mother out having a walk with her child on a lovely morning. The sun was out, the breeze rustled her hair as she peered down at her daughter. She looks up, smiling, and sees what looks like a mannequin dumped in the field in front of her. Shaking her head, she thinks to herself how her once lovely Lamart Park was going downhill. As she walked closer, her eyes widened in pure shock. A scream choking in her throat, she backed away and almost left her child. She grabbed the stroller, turned, and started running, screaming for help. Follow us as we go down the very dark, very black journey of the Black Dahlia.
Hello, everybody.
Hey,
It's Alyssa.
and Heather.
And we're talking about the Black Dahlia again.
Yes.
If you have followed us from our previous channel, we have covered this one before, but we want to revamp it.
Revise it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
this is a
more.
crazy, holy shit, crazy one.
Yeah.
With the media.
Yeah.
Good God above.
It's insane.
It's crazy.
And Alyssa's going to have her job cut out for her today with editing because I have my every 2 months, every 3 months allergies that then make me cough and have a bad voice. So she gets to have fun
I get to
editing that all out. So anyways, if you hear just me cutting out, that's because she's got to edit it out. So
I will say it's going to be challenging with this one because at least when we were filming with video, I would always see me. That's how I knew. I was like, oh, there we go, another one. This one's going to be a little more hard.
it's okay.
But we got it.
I'm going to try. If I don't laugh a lot,
Yes.
I can talk.
Okay.
It's when I laugh,
All
it just sends me into coughing fits, and I don't know why.
All right. We're going to try to be as serious as can be.
I'll laugh like that.
I was going to say.
That's good. See, I can do that. That's when I actually fully laugh. My body's like, don't laugh. You feel awful.
Doesn't like it.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, doesn't
Allergies
like it.
really do feel awful, though. And why I think it's allergies, and I went and got myself tested just because I'm always like,
It's been going around.
I'm just like, I got to be careful because if I go around people and it was negative. So, but I was like, I know it's allergies because my back and my throat itches, my nose itches
that's
to
the
all
worst.
heaven and hell. I don't know what that saying was I just said, but
To all heaven and hell.
everything itches, but they still make you feel icky.
I
Like
know.
you feel like gross.
You just feel drained and tired. Your
Yes.
eyes feel droopy. It's
Yes.
the freaking
Burning.
worst. Yep.
Hot.
Yep.
I always talk about like they feel like little deserts in my face.
That's a perfect way of putting it. I
Yes.
hate allergies, and Florida has been real bad lately.
Real bad.
Real bad. I have been here I think I've said this so many times. I've been here my whole life.
Whole life.
And over the last 3 years is when it's been like the worst. So
It's bad.
fun.
I think it's because like during the time that we need to have rain because it's that time, it doesn't now.
Can we talk about the weather?
It's weird.
It's nice out. In late April
Yeah.
in Florida.
Yesterday yesterday was like
It was
cloudy,
rainy, yeah.
but it was cool.
Yeah.
Today, sunny.
What is it?
Cool.
Global warming is what it is.
Warming, everybody.
Uh-huh.
It's exactly what it is.
It's very weird. I don't know. I like it because I like the temperature, but
Yeah.
it feels weird.
I am going to tell you though, and we always say this every time. We're like heading into May. It's not even summer yet. And I'm like, all right, I'm ready for Halloween.
Oh my God, I know. And then by the time Halloween gets here, we're like, get out of here. It's Christmas.
I'm done.
It's Christmas
Because
time.
me and you celebrate so early that we're like, okay.
I'm starting to plan my Halloween schedule in June because that's when Halloween Horror Nights tickets go on sale, I believe. And the second those suckers are available, I'm getting them.
Yeah, I
I
need
get
to.
my frequent fear.
I'm getting that. I need you to like let me know
Yes.
like what day we all want to go. Well, we
Yes.
can do that off mic, guys. I'm sorry.
Not
We're
us planning.
I know,
like
here we
6
are.
months away. I will.
I will too. I love
Don't
planning.
tempt me.
Planning's my favorite.
See, I don't like planning except for that. If it's that, yes. Because I know. I think my thing with planning is I don't like it because I don't know how I'm going to feel in that moment. With Halloween Horror Nights, I know.
That's what's interesting is that I think I could just plan all the time and maybe not even do it half the time, except I'm doing Halloween.
Dude, you know what you should do?
But I could definitely be a planner.
You should be like an event planner.
I've always thought that, but I have no freaking hell how to make that happen. Like,
You'd be so good at it.
Your part. Oh, I would have the
That'd be
best
so
time.
cool.
Yeah, I have so many ideas always in my head about themed parties, everything.
I know. You're so good at it.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be like right up your alley. We got to find some contacts for you.
Yeah,
if
because I don't even know how.
Contacts
The
for
contacts
Heather.
in Florida.
Yes. I'm sure there's a lot in Orlando. That's not too far.
Maybe.
Maybe.
All right. Enough chit chat.
Yes.
Let's break into the Black Dahlia. And I'm going to put it here at the beginning, and I'll say it when it gets close. There is some trigger warning.
Oh, God.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know, there's definitely some trigger warning of gruesomeness and murder. I think we all pretty much know the Black Dahlia, that the lady got murdered. So I'm going to...
The lady got murdered.
Sorry. My bad.
Okay.
I'm like, try not to laugh too loud. So we're going to talk about the Black Dahlia, who originally before she wasn't even the Black Dahlia until she was killed.
Right.
And so she was Elizabeth Short, also called Betty, sometimes called Bet, sometimes called Beth, sometimes called Betsy.
Wow, lots of names.
Yeah.
Do you know who she kind of looks like? Have you ever seen What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Yep.
You know that woman that Johnny Depp hooks up with?
Yep.
Looks just like her.
Yeah. So I agree.
I don't remember her name, but looks just like her. For those of you who know what I'm talking about.
I know. What is her name? Oh, I know who you're talking about. It's
Juliette Lewis.
Dreyfus. Yes, Julia Lewis, not Dreyfus. That's from Seinfeld. Told you, my head is a little wonky because of the medicine. So
Juliette Lewis looks just like her.
She does. Yeah. So Elizabeth, or right now we're going to call her Betty Short, was born on the 29th of July in 1924. And she was born in Hyde Park, Massachusetts. Y'all know I love Massachusetts because I do love me some Massachusetts. Elizabeth had 4 sisters, 2 older, Virginia and Dorothea, and 2 younger, Eleonora, which I love that name, and Muriel.
Muriel. I love it.
It's just so funny. Like, they're all very flowy. It's Muriel. Like, Elizabeth, Virginia, Dorothea, Eleonora, Muriel. Her parents were Cleo, which was her father, and Phoebe, which is her mother. And I just want to say I love her mother. In 1926, the family moved to Medford, Massachusetts. I love Massachusetts.
I know. You could have a whole episode on talking about Massachusetts.
I really could. And Elizabeth grew up in that town.
Okay.
So her father was known to make miniature golf courses. So he
That's cool.
Planned them out, built them. But then in 1930, he just disappeared. And they presumed he was dead by suicide because his car was found abandoned on a bridge that was over some rushing water. So they presumed that he was like, I'm going to kill myself. I don't know why, because Phoebe didn't understand why. They were plugging along.
Everything was fine.
Everything was literally okay. She didn't understand like why. You know, it was during that time. She was like, maybe it was just the amount of kids they had. Like they didn't know.
Yeah.
And then boom. So they're like, oh, he's dead. Literally got a death certificate. He's dead. So Elizabeth and her sisters were devastated. And her mother, but her mother, Phoebe, was like, no, I have to keep taking care of my girls. So she picks up the pieces and she just starts working hard. She had 2 jobs so she could provide for her daughters to make sure they were completely taken care of. She was not, which is interesting to me, going to get married again.
Yep.
She was going to take care of herself.
Yep.
And I think maybe in my mind, she was there all of a sudden. Everything was fine. Her husband is now dead, presumed.
Yeah.
And she then is like, what do I do? I think she was like, I'm not getting myself in that situation again.
Totally understandable.
Yeah.
So avoiding a lot of heartbreak again.
Yeah. Elizabeth suffered from asthma. And her mother knew that she needed to spend the colder months, winter months in Florida because she had family in Florida. And Elizabeth had really bad asthma. And you guys know that the cold constricts it really bad and it can get really bad. So her mother worked even harder. So she could send her during the winter months to her family in Florida. And then she would come back in the spring.
Amazing job.
And I know.
Such a good mom.
I know.
Love it.
Really. Just so she was okay. And they would just have that repeat pattern. Go away to Florida, come back in the spring. Now, Elizabeth turned 18 in 1942. And she turned heads with her beauty. People found her very, very beautiful. She was petite, had very pale skin, bright blue eyes, and dark hair. Although she dyed it, but that's beside the point. She did. Yeah, people didn't know that, but she absolutely dyed her hair.
What is she? Was she blonde?
No, she had brown hair.
Like, okay.
But she dyed it nice and dark.
Yeah.
Like that it was. Very, very like striking.
Yeah, like compliments the blue eyes, pale skin.
Yeah. And the whole point was she naturally had that pale skin. And then so it was very like Hollywood-esque, you know. People told her all the time, you need to be in the movies because she was just so striking. Like, so life was about to take Elizabeth directly where this idea maybe could become a reality. A ghost from the past was about to come back in her life.
Oh, I wonder who that could be.
She received Phoebe received a letter one day from her deceased father. So this ghost, this deceased man wrote a letter. And he said, oh, hey, by the way, I'm not dead. I have a new family and I'm in California with them. Sorry.
I don't even know. I can't even think of what I would do at this point.
No, Phoebe was pissed.
Oh, yeah?
Phoebe's like, no. I've been taking care of these girls. Like, who the hell are you, dude? No, you piece of crap. You have a whole new family and left me here. I'm working all these jobs. I'm sending this asthma daughter to Florida. Like, no. So Elizabeth at first was angry. She ignored her the letter and she ignored him. But she had dreams. And she was like, you know where movies are made? They're made in California. Yep. And she was always hearing, you should be an actress. So she decided she was going to, and she said, oh, okay, you know what? My dad's in California. He wants to reconnect and make up what he did that was wrong. And she also thought of her asthma, but against her mother's wishes, because her mother did not want her to go there. She moved in with her father. She moved to California with her father and left her mother. And her mother was so worried about her daughter on a daily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because here is
this man that just acts like he died.
Yep.
And then, I'm alive.
Yep.
I would not want my daughter going with him.
No.
Not at all.
Well, what if he does it again? Then just leaves her out there. She's only 18.
Yeah.
Just leaves her out there. But only she goes. Her sisters were like, well, they were young. Well, no, she had two older. But they're like, no, I'm not going.
What would that be like? Imagine, how old was Elizabeth when he acted as if he died?
Young. Like, her mother's been doing this for years.
Long time.
I'm talking about the fact that he was presumed dead for years. Old enough to where Elizabeth knew her father, had a relationship with him.
Right.
But long enough, I think she was, I'm going to say, going into her teens.
12,
I think she was going into her teens when he...
what the hell? Could you imagine 6 years of having no dad, thinking he's dead, and then the first time seeing him again, what that would be like? What conversations?
A letter?
Yeah. But then like actually getting to California and seeing him be like,
I know.
So you didn't die. That's good.
Yeah, well.
What?
I think they definitely, so even though she's living with her father, despite her mother's objections, it's not what she thought it was going to be, lo and behold. And they quarreled and fought a ton. And I'm guarantee she's probably over there like, yeah, but why? Oh, you got kids in a family, but why? So Elizabeth moved out. She was like, I'm going to leave. And in 1943, Elizabeth got a job as a civilian clerk in Camp Cook, an army camp 10 miles north of Lampic. Lampic. It is now, though, called Vandenberg Air Force Base. She worked there until late August. And I thought this was interesting. During that time, now she's called Beth.
Okay.
She's not Betsy anymore.
Okay.
There, she's Beth.
Mm-hmm.
But she was literally voted Camp Cutie.
Oh my God, how cool.
I know.
Camp Cutie?
Yeah, she was voted at
That's
the
so cute.
military base Camp Cutie.
Oh my God.
So her looks is like what kind of got her
Yeah.
around in life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then in September 1943, she was 19. She was out with some of the guys having a good time, like the military guys. She got arrested for underage drinking in Santa Barbara. So Elizabeth was sent back to Medford.
Okay.
I don't know why when you're 19. Why? Well, underage. I don't know, but she's still an adult, so I don't know why she was sent back.
Yeah.
But she was. And then in the winter, she moved to Miami Beach in Florida. So, and Elizabeth continued there as a waitress. And I didn't get a lot of her life in Miami. I'm guessing it was just she's been back and forth to Florida. So, but after that, I do want to put out that it was actually said that she never drank or smoked again. And they always said she was very proper and never cussed. Like she was not like, I'm putting that out there because the media tries to spin
I know.
a completely different tale of her.
Oh, yeah.
But all sources that knew Elizabeth Short said she was never drank, never smoked, never cussed. Like she was a proper young lady during that time.
Proper lady.
I fucking am not.
Yeah, I'm not a proper lady.
At the end of December 1944, Elizabeth Short met Major Matthew M. Gordon in Miami Beach. So here's
Matthew Major M.
The couple soon got engaged, which is awesome for her.
Yeah.
She met someone, they're in love, they got engaged. But tragically, Major Gordon was killed in a plane crash on the 10th of August, 1945, just days before the end of the Second World War.
Or was he? I'm kidding.
Did he shows up.
I feel like I would have so much trauma around deaths. I feel like,
or is
he's not really dead. He's pulling one.
I'd be like always looking over my shoulder.
Yeah.
What's happening?
He's gonna show up 10 years from now.
Heartbroken, she reaches out to an ex-boyfriend for comfort.
Oh.
This gets a little weird.
Oh.
So she reaches out to an ex-boyfriend and they're talking. I had to like read all about this because I was like, this is weird. Because at first I didn't understand. So I had to go find more sources. So essentially in 1946, Elizabeth went to Los Angeles to visit an old boyfriend named Joseph Fickling. I didn't see anything about Fickling before this point. Okay.
Yeah.
So they worked, because then when she gets there, she finds out, oh, he moved to another state. So I was like, so I had to look, and they were in contact. They were talking. He said, come on out here, visit me. Then he just left to another state for work.
Oh my God.
But didn't tell her.
This poor woman.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. So he just invited her and then moved before she even got there. Because he said it was for work.
What in the hell?
Yeah.
Good
Elizabeth
God.
had no money to go back and thought this was her chance to try to become the actress she wanted to be and knew she was destined to be. She had but she also has no place to go. So she stayed in hotels, people's homes, never staying anywhere for very long. And unfortunately, being homeless made Elizabeth vulnerable. In December 1946, Elizabeth went to San Diego. On the 8th of January, 1947. So she was in San Diego now. In 1947, a man named, so a month later, a man named Robert Manley, known as Red because of the color of his hair, offered to drive her to Los Angeles. They spent the night in a motel, but Manley said they did not sleep together. The next day, Thursday, 9th of January, Manley took Elizabeth to the Los Angeles bus station, where she deposited her luggage, which I thought was interesting. Like he said, he took her there. She put her luggage there. I'm guessing she was going to be leaving. And then he went with her to the Biltmore Hotel. He left her there at about 6:30 p.m. So sadly, that would be the last time she was ever seen alive.
Yep.
The mother walking in the morning finds her lying in a field. Her body was found, and I'm going to say trigger warning at this point.
Yeah.
And if you want to tune out, you can, because I am going to be describing what she was found like. So Her body was found in the morning of Wednesday, 15th January 1947, on a vacant building plot in Lemert. Am I saying that right? Lemert Park
Lemert.
District of Los Angeles in California. Her naked body was found by a woman. Her name was Betty Bessinger, and she was walking her 3-year-old daughter, as I said earlier. The body of Elizabeth Short had been cut in half at the waist with a sharp instrument. Her cheeks had been cut to make a grotesque parody of a smile. So sliced.
Glasgow smile.
Yep. Sliced from all the way to her ear.
Corner of the mouth to the tip of the ears.
Yep.
Ugh.
There was also other lacerations on her body. Elizabeth's arms were raised over her head and bent at the elbows. Her legs were apart. The lack of blood at the scene indicated Elizabeth had been killed at another location, then dumped on the plot. The killer had also washed the body. No attempt was made to conceal the body. It seems whoever killed her wanted to shock people by leaving the body in plain view. The autopsy report revealed the cause of death was hemorrhage from lacerations and shock caused by blows to the head and face. Here's what made me really freak out about that, meaning that this was happening to her while she was alive.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't happening to her while she was dead.
Nope.
And that's what ended up killing her, which is crazy. Because, like, not that it's any better, but sometimes they'll choke them to death and then they'll do
something.
No,
not the case with this one.
This was being done to her while she was alive.
Yeah.
The police started to investigate the murder of Elizabeth Short, but the press was all over it, blocking the investigation any chance they could. The case quickly became covered by the media, and that's where her moniker, Black Dahlia, became widely known for her dark hair and the fact that she would like to wear dark clothing.
Okay.
So weird. Reporters had swarmed the crime scene, and then also the LAPD officers. The media were also known to pick up, answer the tip lines, which police says hindered the investigation as information was withheld from them. Mm-hmm. So the media is also at the police station, picking up those tip lines, grabbing those phones before the police could. Why they didn't get arrested, I don't fucking know.
How does it even happen?
I don't know.
How?
I don't know. And then the police are like, yeah, this is hindering me. Yeah, it is.
I mean, this was LAPD, so.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
That says it all.
Yeah. So headlines ran every day in the papers, whose circulation surged. The Los Angeles Examiner had its second highest sales the day after the murder. The first was announced when the Allied victory in World War II. Mm-hmm. Putting out an extra edition that Los Angeles Times described the murder as a sex fiend, the murderer as a sex fiend.
So ridiculous.
The sensationalization of the murder in the press portrayed Short as a party girl who picked up men in frequent nightclubs. And how did an unemployed waitress pay her rent as she moved from hotel to apartment every few months? They wanted to know, hinting that she was a streetwalker.
Did they just say unemployed waitress?
Yeah.
Isn't that a job?
Yeah. That's literally what they said. Though.
What?
Like she was that. No, I think they were saying like that's her career. Her career was waitress, but she was unemployed.
They make some damn good money, some of them.
Yeah.
So
I know. But I'm just like, get over it. And then to be like, how does she pay for that? Me thinks she's a streetwalker.
Oh
like, come on.
That's so dumb.
One account described her as a girl whose romances had changed her. According to her friends, from an innocent girl to a man-crazy delinquent.
Oh.
Good God. One newspaper, this is what is even awful. And yeah, you guys can look it up. It's even published a photo of her dead face after removing the marks of violence. But it was literally her dead face in the paper.
You can see that on the internet today.
You can.
Guys, so.
It's pretty jarring.
Yeah.
Not as gruesome as some, but it's pretty jarring because it's like, The Examiner in particular, this is the newspaper, The Examiner, had a field day with the coverage, running front page stories on the murder every day for over a month. The editors behaved so egregiously with Short's mother, they called her to pretend that her daughter had won a beauty contest and trying to get as many details about Short from her, Only then when she gave them all these details, they're like, oh yeah, so actually your daughter's been murdered. So, and then they're like, could we fly you out here to identify the body? So they tell her mother this. Of course, her mother loved Elizabeth.
Yeah.
She's beside herself. They're like, yeah, fly it. We just need you to identify the body. They didn't have her identify the body. They held her away from the police. They kept the mom away so they could protect their scoop.
God. My God. What the hell?
They also were known to trample all over evidence.
Oh, yeah.
They intercepted everything they could, and they were also found to create hoaxes for sensationalized. So
the media, no.
Oh, I know, right? I know. So because of all this, the investigation was proving to have all dead ends everywhere until a big development occurred on January 24th when the killer contacted the press. I'm putting this one in here because there is a lot of press that was fake.
Yep.
A lot of quote unquote people saying they did it, all this kind of stuff. An envelope addressed to the Los Angeles Examiner and other Los Angeles papers. So this was given to everybody, not just one, was mailed, which included a letter assembled from words cut out of the movie ads of a newspaper page, including the phrase, "Heaven is here." From the ad, "Stairway to Heaven," it said, "Here is Dahlia's belongings." The belongings included Short's birth certificate and address book, her business cards, and some photographs, all cleaned with gasoline in a similar manner to the body to remove prints. 75 men from the address book that they had were interviewed and none were charged. I just want to put that out there. A warrant was served to USC Medical School, which was nearby, as police suspected a medical expert could possibly be the killer because of the way the body was severed. But this turned out to be a dead end.
Yep.
The last person to see Short alive was pipe clamp salesman Robert Red, who drove her to Bitmore. I'm not going to get into him because I know you're doing the suspects.
Yep.
She told him she was going to meet her sister there when he drove her to the Bitmore Hotel, and then move with her to Berkeley. Manley told police he left her there and went back to his wife, but he was booked as a suspect. So I'm just going to put that out there. So and I'll let you, I don't know if he's in yours, but so at least 750 investigators from the LAPD and other police departments were put on this case. More than 60 people, including some women, confessed to the murder, especially after a reward of $10,000 for information about the case was posted.
God.
Exhausted leads were followed. Locations all over Los Angeles were searched, and hundreds of interviews were conducted. When they hit a dead end in Los Angeles, police tried to make a connection with crimes in other cities like Cleveland, torso murder, another unapprehended serial killer that dismembered victims between 1934 and 1938 in Cleveland. To this day, the murder remains unsolved. But I also wanted to put in there that the media put in their own quote unquote letters from the killer, kind of like Jack the Ripper. So the ones with the gasoline they believe is legit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They cleaned it with gasoline?
Yeah, that's how they got the prints off. And I guess that's how they cleaned her body as well.
Oh.
Rubbed it with gasoline.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. So it was all her stuff, you know. So whoever, had access to her stuff. Her sister was never coming to Bitmore. Yeah. That was a completely made up story, either by her or him. But the press were constantly putting new things that the killer was sending in, new things so they could keep this sensation.
So they could keep it going.
That those sales were soaring, So the media absolutely fucked this case up.
Yep.
But now, even though it remains unsolved, I can hand it over to you, who you can then talk about.
The suspects.
Yes.
As you were saying, numerous have come forward claiming to be the killer, most not even being born before the murder took place. Gotta love that. So I'm going to read off. There's about, 10 or so. There's a lot, but 10 that were named that are really nothing. So I'm going to give a very, very brief, just like a sentence on who they are. The first suspect was Robert Manley. He was a salesman who had been seen with Elizabeth in the days before her murder.
His wife committed him to a mental hospital later in life. So even though he was not actually
Interesting.
they found that he had no connection.
Right.
Later in life, like
Yes.
not even later in life, like I think it was like a year or so, she committed him to a
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people were committed to this
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah. Anyways, just wanted to.
So Joseph DeMay, a soldier who had been stationed in LA at the time of her murder. Norman Chandler, who was a publisher for the LA Times and was rumored to have been involved in the Black Dahlia murder and rumored to have impregnated her. Yeah, rumored. Mark Garin, don't know how to pronounce that. A friend of Elizabeth's and was known to have had a relationship with her. Red Manley, or a married man who had been seen with her in San Diego just days before her murder. Leslie Dillon, that is a man's name.
Yeah,
Leslie,
it's very common back then.
Yeah. He was a bellhop who was questioned by police after his girlfriend reported he had made incriminating statements about the murder. He denied any involvement in the crime and was eventually released due to lack of evidence. Mark Hansen, a wealthy nightclub owner who was known to have had a relationship with Elizabeth.
Oh, you know, because she was a party girl.
Right. Jack Anderson Wilson, a convicted rapist who was known to have been in the LA area at the time of the murder. Carl Balsinger, a postal worker who'd been seen with Elizabeth before her murder. Fred Sexton, a photographer who had been seen with Elizabeth in the days before her murder. Now, there's 2 suspects who are absent from this list. Their names are Walter Bailey and George Hodel. These 2 have been pinned as the most likely suspects. So now I'm going to get into the detail. Larry Harnish, a former editor and writer for the LA Times, suggested Walter Bailey as a possible murderer. He was unfamiliar with the case. However, he was instructed by his editor to write an article on the case to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the murder. During his investigation of the case, he became so captivated by it that he's now the most authoritative voice in the case, even debunking many myths and lies that have persisted over the years. FBI profiler John Douglas prompted Harnish to investigate the location where Short's body was discovered in more detail, as he believed that the murderer had a more personal connection to the scene. Initially, not much was discovered. However, this quickly changed. Amongst the items sent to Harnish by case enthusiasts was Short's sister's marriage certificate. Harnish discovered his first connection to the crime scene. One of the witnesses listed their address as Norton Avenue, which was only 1 block from where Short was discovered. The name of the witness was Barbara Lindgren. Harnish discovers that the address belonged to Barbara Lindgren's parents, Ruth and Walter Bailey. Walter became suspicious to Harnish as soon as he discovered that he was a surgeon. Arguably, he would be more than capable of performing this bisection on Elizabeth. Harnish also discovered that Walter's office was in the same vicinity as the Biltmore Hotel, where Elizabeth was last seen alive. Walter died a year after the murder in 1948. At the time of his death, he was suffering from, let me see if I can pronounce this, encephalomasia. Encephalomasia. It has to do with the brain.
Oh, okay. How old was he? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay. But he was a surgeon.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a severe neurological disorder. This can result in drastic alteration of behavior, including violence, and he definitely exhibited some changes in personality. After years of marriage, he up and left his family and began an affair with a coworker. Now, several people, including colleagues, his secretary, and his daughter Barbara, who knew Bailey, were able to corroborate a change in his personality. Harnish believes that Short may have contacted Barbara to look for a place to stay, as she regularly did. According to her sister's spouse, she was only able to find Walter Bailey. Elizabeth may have used the pretense of a sad story to gain Walter's sympathy, which ultimately backfired. Elizabeth allegedly lied before about having a deceased son in the past when she was searching for a place to stay or to get a drink out of a man. Bailey, however, had actually experienced such a tragedy. His son was killed on January 13th of 1920 when he was hit by a car. Harnish hypothesizes that he eventually realized that she was lying, snapped, and murdered her on the anniversary of his son's death. Bailey then cut the body in half and disposed of it in an area where it was close to where his son had died 17 years prior. Ruth, Walter Bailey's widow, contested that her husband's will after his passing. Her claim stated that her husband's lover had threatened to disclose a dreadful secret if he returned to his wife. Could this secret possibly be the murder of the Black Dahlia? I don't think so.
That seems so far-fetched.
It's very far-fetched. So alleged.
Very alleged. Very sensationalized.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think
it's just so weird. Like, first of all, the rage, like he would have like a rage, right? Yeah. That body was laid out.
Yeah, that's more than
posed.
Yeah. That's a sick individual who did that. That's not a rage, like, I'm gonna...
Oh, you liar.
Yeah, that's not what you would do.
And it was not... They didn't cut her in half to dispose of her.
No.
That was all part of their torture.
Right.
Yeah, so that's... I don't think that one.
Now we've got George Hodel, who was a native of LA. He was extremely smart and graduated high school in 1922 at the age of 15.
Oh, man.
And then enrolled in the California Institute of Technology. At the age of 16, he was expelled after it was discovered that, wait for this, he was having an affair with the wife of his professor and got her pregnant.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm thinking, like, there needs to be some cops involved in this because this woman needs to go to jail.
Yeah.
Hello? A 16-year-old?
Holy shit.
With the professor's wife?
How did he even get connected to her?
I don't know.
What the heck?
I don't know.
It's not even his professor, it's his wife.
Dude, I don't know.
George.
I have a lot of questions around this.
Right?
We need a whole case on this.
I need to know more about that.
I do too. I absolutely do too.
Your wife's like, oh, hey, 16-year-old, saw you in my husband's class.
Ew.
What the hell?
Ew.
It's so gross, but
it's so gross. But let's just give her the benefit of the doubt. This is college. Maybe she's thinking he's in his 20s.
Maybe.
But still, do your research,
I just don't know how she came in about. That's going to bother me.
Unless maybe he visited her or she visited him.
Brought him
lunch. Yeah.
Being that time era.
Right.
The dutiful little wife.
Yeah. He had a son with a woman.
A woman.
He had a son with a woman named Amelia when he was 21 years old.
Wait. Didn't he get the professor's wife pregnant?
Oh, yeah.
Did she have the kid?
Nothing else was said about it.
They sent her away to that place. Yeah. Back with the way they sent the women to.
Yep, they sent her away.
Yep, then that baby just gets adopted.
Yep. Probably. By the 1930s, he was married to Dorothy Anthony. In 1932, he returned.
Sorry.
I know. It's a lot.
He had a child by somebody else?
This is good. This is
he had a child by somebody else.
Just wait, it gets
that child
worse.
is confirmed.
Yes.
And now he's
it gets worse.
I'm trying to
It gets worse. He got Amelia pregnant at 21.
Okay.
And then in the 1930s, he was married to Dorothy.
Dorothy, okay.
In 1932, he returned to school to pursue medicine, first at Berkeley and then at the University of California in San Francisco.
That's some prestige.
It is, where he graduated in 1936 with a medical degree. Hodel was a successful physician. That is tough to say. Who lived in one of LA's wealthiest neighborhoods. He was well known in the community, as well as in the party and S&M communities. Here's where it's going to get interesting.
That came out. That's very interesting.
It sure is.
All right.
In 1940, while still married to Dorothy, he married the ex-wife of a close acquaintance.
What?
Dorothy Harvey.
What? Oh, Dorothy. I guess you don't gotta be worried about calling her the wrong name.
That's probably why. He's like, oh, perfect.
Perfect. I think you're hot. Yeah. Your name's Dorothy.
This'll work.
This is good. Perfect. Oh, God. What the hell, dude?
I don't know.
So he's married to Dorothy, gets married to his friend's ex-wife, Dorothy.
Yes, an acquaintance's ex-wife.
Oh, sorry. His acquaintance ex-wife.
Of a close acquaintance.
So a casual friend.
Yes.
So Dorothy and Dorothy are now his wives.
Yes.
The Dorothys.
Yes.
Okay. And he's in the S&M, which that's fine.
Yep.
That doesn't make you a murderer by any means.
No.
It doesn't.
It could explain a few things.
It could explain a few things, but it doesn't mean that's,
No.
you know. And he likes the party scene.
Yes.
Okay. And he's a doctor.
Yes.
Okay. And he has a baby by Amelia.
Yes.
Okay.
And he impregnated his professor's wife.
Okay, got it. This guy's
Grade A.
He needed something else to keep his brain busy because it's not going well. Okay. All right.
In 1945, he bought one of the renowned Frank Lloyd Wright properties in the city and moved in with his wife and 3 children. Now I'm confused. I don't know if that means his children with her or if she had previous children. No confirmation on that one.
Or were they his children from the other people's?
I don't know. It didn't specify.
Frank Lloyd Wright homes, not my cup of tea, but that
was the thing.
That was the thing.
Well, he got it. He was well known for his fleeting relationships and sadomasochism, as were many of his acquaintances. It doesn't seem that Hodel's polygamy played a significant role in the inclusion of the suspect list for the murder. However, in 1949, his daughter, Tamar, brought Hodel to the attention of the law.
Oh.
Tamar accused him of sexually assaulting her.
Oh.
Alleging that he forced himself on her and forced her to read erotica in order to, quote, make me a sexual goddess.
His daughter?
His daughter.
So the guy's fucked.
Yes.
I already knew he was fucked,
Yes.
but he's fucked.
Yes.
Got it.
He was charged with incestuous sexual abuse against her. 2 witnesses, it gets worse. 2 witnesses, including another Black Dahlia suspect, Fred Sexton, testified against George and told the jury that they had seen him sexually assaulting his daughter. A 3rd witness for the prosecution recanted her testimony and refused to testify. Tamar also allegedly stated during the trial that her father was the Black Dahlia killer. Hodel's defense team relied on a smear campaign against Tamar to win the case.
Oh my.
Alleging, amongst other things, that she was an attention-seeking liar.
Oh.
The jury believed him.
Of course they did. Of course.
And his charges were dismissed.
Oh my God.
However, while investigating the murder of Short, the police took an interest in Hodel for a variety of reasons. His charges had placed him on a list of sex offenders in the area where she was discovered. Secondly, Hodel was a well-respected surgeon with the knowledge of surgical procedures. And as well as we all know, the Black Dahlia's gruesome yet precise wounds suggest that someone with medical knowledge had committed the murder. In addition, at least 8 witnesses claimed first-hand knowledge of Short and Hodel's relationship in 1946.
How many?
8.
Oh my God.
In 1950, there was sufficient evidence to bug Hodel's residence. The police captured Hodel saying, "Supposin' I did murder Black Dahlia.
Oh.
They can't prove it now. They can't talk to my secretary anymore because she's dead."
Holy shit!
They thought there was something fishy. Anyway, now they may have figured it out. Killed her. Maybe I did kill my secretary. End quote.
Where's his secretary?
I don't know. This confession of sorts was seen as a taunt, as police suspect that Hodel knew his home was bugged. Even though he was one of the top suspects, Hodel was never formally accused of Short's murder. Steve Hodel, a former LAPD detective, launched his own investigation of his father after his death. A photo album was discovered while rummaging through his father's possessions. At the back of the album was a photo of a woman who resembled Elizabeth. After nearly 2 decades of investigation, Steve Hodel discovered what he believes to be evidence that his father murdered not only Short, but also other women too.
So he's a serial killer.
Yes.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I would never be like, well, it sounds like he knew it was bugged. Supposing I did murder her.
That just sounds like
Maybe
a cocky
I murdered
asshole.
my secretary. Yeah, because he's gotten away with it for this long.
Look what else he's gotten away with.
Did they even investigate his secretary? Where the fuck is she?
She's dead.
I know. How?
I don't know, dude. He probably killed her.
I know.
I'm assuming. So, I'm saying it's allegedly
it's him.
Total. Yeah.
I mean, everything
this
lines up.
So his daughter accuses him of this on top of other things, and his son is accusing him.
And the fact that, you know, of course, back in those days, you got a victim blame. She was just a female. Oh, this prestigious doctor, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
She's just a liar and attention, blah, 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 you know. But like everything, 8 accounts that said that he was connected with Short. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
And how the heck did he have, you know, Fred Saxton? Like,
yeah,
all that just, I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude.
I think it was him.
Oh, yeah.
Freaking crazy man. He's over there from the time he's 15, knocking women up.
This made me. I need to do a whole case on Hodel. Just Hodel.
Seriously.
Good God. This is a very short skimming of Hodel.
This is his one murder.
Yeah. So
I think there must be so many more.
Yeah. So I'm going to be doing a deep dive on Hodel.
Could you imagine, like, if you are someone who is like depraved in your head that way, right? Like you have something wrong, you would be someone that would like want to get into S&M.
Absolutely.
Sadomasochism. Just because inflicting pain, but then it's going to bump up.
Yes. See, okay, further. So here's what I'm saying. Of course there's nothing wrong. If there's your kink is S&M, not a problem.
And there's boundaries.
Yeah, boundaries. But the difference with, oh my God, Bailey and Hodel, Bailey, they're harnished thinking that, oh, he just snapped and killed her. That's not a type of murder you do if you snapped and killed someone.
No.
Hodel, with his past, that lines up. It lines up with his sadomasochism. It lines up with his skills. It lines up with a whole lot of things.
The fact that he drained her blood.
8 witnesses saying that they dated.
Yeah. That's a lot. 8 witnesses. Mm-hmm. It's insane.
That's a whole lot.
And the fact that this was done to her while she was alive, which means inflicting pain.
Which is something he likes.
Exactly. Which is something he's very into, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what stuck out to me.
Yep.
Is that so often, like I said before, that stuff is usually done after.
Nope, not with him.
That's how she died, was from these abrasions and.
Yep.
Yeah. That's crazy. I think in the future, I need you to do a whole.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because just a little bit you're saying, I'm like, wait.
Yeah, I know.
Back up.
I know.
Wait, who? Who has he got? What?
Yeah, we're going to go into more detail with him.
I'm telling you, so often serial killers get themselves in these positions of prominence. Like, they absolutely do.
Yeah, they have to.
I mean, they just do. Like, look at that little guy, that twerp.
That little guy.
What's that twerpy's name?
There's so many of them.
He had the killing castle, not, you know.
Oh, H.H. Holmes.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
He tried to be in a position of prominence always. Yeah. I just think he's a little twerpy dude. But, like, you know, Ted Bundy. Like, they all just try to get themselves, like,
yeah.
Because I think there's just so much there about what they think about themselves.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know? And that is just crazy. See, I'm so glad I told you to. I was like, you take care of suspects. Cause,
I got it.
Yeah.
I got you.
That was, yeah, that's crazy. And the fact that 2 of his children.
Yeah.
Everybody, like 2 of his children have come forth accusing him.
Yeah. I need to know so much more.
I need you to know.
About the wives, the Dorothys.
The Dorothys?
Need to
the
know.
3 children that he moved in with, what children were they?
Were they? Yeah. That leads me to question, did second Dorothy know about first Dorothy and knew about the children and wait, I don't
polygamy.
think... Yeah, oh, you're right.
They didn't say, what is that called?
But I didn't think you could get married twice. I knew you could like.
You're quote.
Then you could do it pretty much anything.
You really could. Like they had a problem of guys like getting married to different women in different states, especially if they were like traveling.
Oh, that's
salesmen,
right. Yes.
And there is a big problem of having little families everywhere. Whatever.
Yeah. But so let's just say, because it was Amelia that he had kids with. So was second Dorothy like, bring on them kids? And then was Amelia?
I think he only had one with Amelia.
One, that's what I meant.
But he had 3 move in. So did he have babies with Dorothy?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I need to know. I need to know
too.
This. Did he have those 3 kids with Dorothy, or are those second Dorothy's 3 kids already?
Or were they kids from Dorothy and Amelia and then her kid? Like, who is it?
Yeah.
I need to know more about this man.
I do too. So I'm going on a deep dive because I have a lot of questions.
I heard there's a book too that Steve put out. When I was you said Steve Hodel, and I was like, oh, I swear he's written a book on his dad.
Well,
I know you don't. Maybe you can find an Audible.
I was gonna say I will force myself to read it. So I'm very interested in this. So
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy because here is this murder that just like. Honestly, no offense to Elizabeth, but pretty much from an unknown, on an unknown person.
Yep.
Right? But the media went frenzy crazy. And although they were like blocking everything, I don't know. I'm not going to give them a pass. Like, honestly, like if they would have just stepped out of the way, maybe they would have been
able to catch up.
But at the same time, during that time, I just always referenced the police to being like that John Mulaney skit. Oh, sir, there's a puddle of blood here. Gross. Let me get back to my hunch. Like
that has nothing to do with the case.
Yeah, nothing at all. That's gross. So I'm just going to sit here and think about what it could be. Like, I just think they really just fucked up their cases all the time.
Yeah.
And like the fact that people just trampled all over, like, oh, there's a dead body. Let me walk all over it in the crime scene. Like,
we've come so far.
Yeah, we have.
My God. Again, also, it's the LAPD, so.
Yeah.
Not much could be expected at that time from them, so hopefully they're better now. But
I think
during that time, this is a joke.
Whitaker. Oh, sorry. My uncle I was like, I think he was in the LAPD. He was in Whitaker Police.
Oh.
Which I think is a part of LAPD.
I don't know.
He has some stories, though.
I'm sure he does.
He does. But I just think when we're investigating these old cases, it is always... like things where there's glaring things in front of them and they're like,
it has nothing to do with it.
No, get out of here. No, that's not even correct. I'm going to go over this way, I'm going to go over here because Elizabeth Short was a hoe. I'm going to go this way. I don't care what her mom or people that really knew her said.
Nope. They're lying.
Ridiculous. I like how whenever I'm doing old, I'm like,
I love it. Yeah. It's perfect.
Yeah, see?
Just perfect.
But
that's Elizabeth Short.
AKA Betty, AKA Betsy, AKA Beth,
AKA Black Dahlia,
AKA Bet, AKA Black Dahlia. There's all her, not like those are all her names.
Lots of names.
Lots of things. See? Lots of things to make off of the name Elizabeth. But not Heather. Never
What
Heather.
did I say? Heath?
Yeah,
Heath.
A man's name.
Heath and I'm Al.
Heath and Al?
Yes.
That's actually some really good old man names. We have there, Heath and Al.
That's what our Halloween costumes will be this year.
Old man.
Heath and Al.
Have a cane.
And we'll do a Halloween episode of Heath and Al.
I'm going to throw rocks.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yell at people.
Yeah, get off my lawn.
Yep.
And throw rocks.
Oh my God. With the trick-or-treaters. Like, get off my property.
I probably would scare them, honestly. I could be like, I'm HOA. So
you could do that, and then I'll come and be like, he's just senile. Here's your candy kids. Oh, that's not something that should come out of my mouth ever.
Here's your candy canes.
No, here's your candy kids.
Oh, I thought you said here's your candy canes. No. I was like, why is he got a candy cane? Oh, he's senile. Here's your candy canes.
Which one's worse? Here's your candy canes or here's your candy kids?
Candy canes.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
I don't know. They're both pretty bad.
Never mind.
Well, anyways, thank you so much for watching. I mean, I'm always gonna say watching, listening.
Yeah.
Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
Sorry about the coughs and the sniffles.
Yes, we'll edit that out so you won't even hear it.
Part, but
Yeah.
you'll still be here that I'm.
You'll hear a little
not
piece
my
of
best.
it. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.